Alright everybody, welcome back. We have Geonosis today. Geonosis today. We're gonna be going ahead and going through the full auto squads that I use to go ahead and knock out all of these combat missions here. Now, a couple of important notes. I didn't cover in my previous phase videos platoons. I didn't cover them because in those recordings we already had all the platoons done, but also I didn't cover them because they're not really important for the combat missions. In very few cases it can cause some issues for people at a much lower level, but I can't exactly show any of that. It's kind of really difficult to do that. So my method of focus is just don't worry about platoons for phase 1, and likewise for phase 2. We can take a look at here. The platoons aren't going to matter for this phase. You can go ahead and full auto these missions without having any of the platoons done yet. So I know a lot of people typically like to wait until their guild's completely done with platoons to do their combat missions, but the reality of it is they don't actually need to. It's been a huge process reiterating to my guild as well, multiple guilds rather, that you don't need to wait for platoons done to go ahead and do the missions. But so for this phase, Geonosis, we don't need to do the platoons. Second thing, I do not have 7-star or Relic 7 Geonosians. I don't know many people that do. Some people do, sure. I can't show you the video because I don't have Geonosians. But also, you don't really have much in the way of team selection. You get to play the Geonosians, so whether you do that on full auto or manual is completely up to you. I think it might have trouble on full auto. I can't quite tell you for sure, but take that for what you will. So I won't be showing you Geonosians. And then the third thing is the fleet combat. In Mustafar we had trouble. Likewise, most people have trouble in the Geonosis one. At the end of the day, it's ultimately not going to change things too much for you, and I can't really show you an attempt even because I have to platoon some of the Empire ships and I don't have Leviathan. So kind of a mixed bag here. I'll go ahead and run one on full auto, but it's not really going to do anything for you. So mostly this is going to be about tackling the 3 combat missions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into that. We're going to start off on the left side here. We're going to go ahead and go to our squads. As always, make sure you have your squads set up so that way you can easily access them and get this done quickly. We're going to be using the First Order tunes, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren at the lead for the Reek, and this is pretty straightforward. So we're going to use Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Rey Darkside Vision, Kylo Ren Unmasked, Kylo Ren, and Sith Trooper. There may be better solutions. There's definitely multiple ways to skin a cat. So if you have suggestions, go ahead and put them in the comments down below. And if you want to use something different, by all means, go ahead and see if it works for you, right? So we just pretty much run this on full auto. We did this without Darkside Rey previously. Occasionally I'd run Watt here or Malik if I didn't have to platoon. Now I have to platoon Malik. So it's just kind of a moving basis, but usually Supreme Leader Kylo Ren will go ahead and bring this home because as you see, he just wipes things out. So pretty straightforward and simple, not like the days of old in the Geonosis light side TB where we had to use it was for the cam mission, we had to use all the clones. So that one wrapped up pretty easy. Next, we're going to go ahead and go into the middle mission. And for this one, we are going to be using Imperial Trooper or Imperial Remnants, not Imperial Troopers, but the new Imperial Remnants. New, I'm using air quotes. It's been a while since they've been out, but they make this actually a lot easier than a lot of teams, just by the nature of their kits. We're running Dark Trooper, Moff Gideon as the lead. Then you got Enoch, Night Trooper, and Death Trooper Peridea, and we're throwing Scout Trooper in there for good measure. And they handle the Acklay much more handedly than anything else before. They just tank that huge hit like that. Some people might ask about mods and like why I don't show mods. Ultimately, I don't care about the mods. Sometimes I accidentally forget to make sure all my characters are equipped. At the end of the day, you know, this is the Pareto principle. 20% of the work gets 80% of the effort. And as you can see, they just wipe it out, no issue. So I'm not going to sweat over mods. I don't think you should either. Whatever you just kind of normally have on them, see if that works. And if that works, don't bother trying to min-max that because there's no need. So then we're moving on to the third combat mission over here on the right. Go ahead, and we're going to be running the new dark side clones under a Lord Vader lead. Should be pretty easy and simple and straightforward for those that have it. I know a lot of people will be moving towards them, so this should be a team that eventually everybody kind of has access to, most likely. Definitely one of the more widely acceptable teams, or widely obtainable teams rather. But yeah, this, much like the other ones, are full auto, and you can go ahead and target around as you see fit, but you're also going to just be behind Sunfuck and the Brute for the large majority of the combat. But eventually they're just going to get wiped out to the AoEs and the dots. So this is pretty straightforward. Another team that I have run in the past with some auto success is kind of like the unaligned force users, just the extra ones. I've ran with Piet, Malicos, Starkiller, and Maul, right? And that gets some good work done. Sometimes they throw a Thrawn in there depending on platoons, maybe a Watt. Watt is okay. Watt's a great tune for the TB, and he enables a lot of things, but one of the reasons I don't like him is because you typically need to set up his techs before anything gets going with him. So it's not exactly full auto, takes a few turns, and if I'm kind of doing that already, then I might as well just play the match, right? And then I could have played something easier that could have taken care of it maybe. But this is why I'm a big fan of the full auto squads. And we're gonna wrap this one up here, and as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. Scorch died. He tanked all the hits, so kind of to be expected, but no real problems or threats. Lord Vader can honestly solo that the Nexu. You don't really have many issues as long as you get past the Geonosians. But okay, we're gonna go ahead and go into the fleet mission here. I'm gonna make do with what I got. I do have the squad kind of set up so you can at least see what I would normally use and what I'm trying to get going, but I don't have the greatest success rate. I mean, probably 30%. That's also what Egnard's puts it at in his guide, and probably where I got the team originally. But under normal circumstances, we would be running TIE Advanced, MK6, Scythe, and then in the reinforcements, TIE Defender first, Interceptor, Sith Fighter, and TIE Fighter. Mostly you want to use defensive stuff and just try to survive until you get the big wave. Use Executrix's buffs whenever you can to kind of make that easier on yourself. We don't have Scythe. It's not going to be a good look. We still want to call in TIE Defender for reinforcement. So without ruining any of our other stuff, we're going to go ahead and look at what we got here to use in the place of Scythe. And not really great options, unfortunately. We can go ahead and put Sith Fighter up front just to kind of, hopefully they target that. They're going to target MK6 first, and then after that, anybody's guess, right? Let's go ahead and go back to the Empire. You know, if they're going to target MK6 first, maybe we leave Sith Fighter there. We go ahead and put in Imperial TIE Bomber. And then there you go, the Defender in the reinforcements, and we'll put Sith Fighter back in the reinforcements. Sometimes the RNG takes over and you can just get away with things. That's what I've noticed over the years because I've been platooning Scythe for a long time in phase 2. Okay, we'll run this and see how it goes and try to play defensively and just survive. So this one is a little bit different from phase 1. See, they go right after the MK6. This is quite a bit different from the phase 1 just because they start with all Geonosians. We're going to target somebody that's not the Sunfuck Geonosian, the Starfighter. We'll go with the soldier and we'll do a basic here. Now they're going to target Imperial TIE Bomber. We're going to go ahead and get rid of some of the overcharged and maybe put some flames down. Going to pull out the TIE Defender. And our goal for the TIE Defender is to target the Vulture droids when we can, but Sunfuck will taunt, so it's a little hard. You can go ahead and use a basic on Sunfuck. And there goes the bomber down. We're just hoping, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use the buffs, try to get the buffs up. We'll go ahead and stun Sun Fox Starfighter, and maybe we can get him out here. Nope, not quite. And then they come in, and you don't get all the dodges because of all the mass swarm attack. We're gonna go ahead and pull in Interceptor here. We could drop an AoE and try to get out Sun Fox. It's just gonna lead to more. No, that's not an AoE. Never mind, I was thinking of the wrong character, and High Advance is gone. And so is Interceptor. Yep, so you don't have Scythe. What are you gonna do? You're not even really making a real try at that point. So unfortunately, another loss on the fleet missions, but like I said, all in all, it doesn't matter too much. Don't let it get to you if you're missing out on that. Many people do, even when they get the strategy down pat. So that's all we have for Geonosis. I'll be back with more guides on Felucia and Braca, so stay tuned. If you got value out of this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want more content like this, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when all these videos come out. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.